How you guys doing? Thanks for joining me. In many of my videos, you hear me talk about exiting through the indoor. We're going to go a little more into detail here. If you look at the center of your heart, there's a singularity. And at the center of a singularity, there would be like a wormhole where you could, if it was a star, like the one above your head, you might fly a ship into it and pop out somewhere else. You might turn your consciousness into your heart and pop out somewhere else. Everything you know is a lie. You're in a computer program right now. When I talk about this, and I know it's hard for people to see this, but your DNA is fractal in nature. So when we talk about the singularity at the heart, there's also one at the center of every one of your cells also. I recommend you go to a website like the holographic fractal universe, the fractal holographic universe. This will help you understand what's going on. So when I tell you to exit the cage, you need to exit through the indoor. The reason we say this is because there's a hexagram over your heart. Your singularity has a hex spell over it. If you look at sacred geometry, like in my videos, I show you clearly that what God had to do to create the universe is He had to make a cage for you first by projecting a beam of consciousness forward, back, up, down, left, right. That's 3 spatial directions, and He placed you into a cube. You've been cubed. You've been squared. When you graduate, you put over your head that cube. You hear in your Bible there's 4 corners to the earth. You'll see the DNA art that they feature on Yahoo, whatever. It's crazy, but they show your DNA is squared. Okay, a circle inside of a square. It's always the circle inside of the square. You'll see it on when you're watching like Credit Karma commercial. You'll see the circle inside the square on the computer and on the wall behind it, the desk. You've been squared, and everything you know is a lie. There's nothing natural about your world. If you think breathing chemical air, drinking fluoridated water, eating magnetic food is normal, you're out of your mind. If you think eating pork in America is natural, no. They had to bring the pork over here, and the horses over here, and all the vegetables and fruits, and all these different things that were not native to America were brought over here, and all kinds of things were brought over overseas, like tobacco, whatever it is. Nothing is natural in your world. Everything is set up perfectly and fine-tuned because it's a freaking cage you're in. You've been squared. The archons, who gave you the reptilian core to your brain, have broken you up into 7 internal vortexes by which you are being drawn out of you. Now your singularity at your heart is forced to take a shit, get horny, get hungry, a pain in your heart, a fog in your throat, a headache, and you get freaked out and your scalp will get tightened up, and there's all kinds of money that goes along with this. You have bowel problems, there's pills to go with it. You have dick problems, there's pills to go with that. You have stomach problems, there's pills to go with that. They are drawing all their energy out of you, whether it be money, on so many different levels, you just can't see it. And I'm telling you that you're visible in more than the visible light spectrum. I was dead before, and I could see people that were dead and alive. You could be seen across many dimensions, and each dimension is just a variation of the electromagnetic spectrum. So, to get out of the cage, you're going to need to go through your heart, and you're going to need to be able to find your heart. Most people can't find their heart. You need to get back to selfless acts of kindness and love for each other, or you'll never find your fucking heart. When you hear, I am the Lord or God, I am one, we're talking about the singularity at the center of your heart. Okay? You can get out of the cage, but that's the wormhole you're going to have to get out of the cage through. So you've been fractal. You're fractalized now. You're a fractal of the sun. How could you suggest you're a fractal of the sun? Well, you only survive by way of the sun, through the plants and animals that you eat. Okay? You either are eating food that grew from the sun, you're a sun gazer and you stare at the sun, or you're a vampire and you eat people or drink their blood who got their energy through the plants and animals that they ate through the sun. You are living here by way of the sun, I assure you. You are a fractal of the sun. You can go back to the sun. At the center of the earth, you ever hear of Mother Earth? Well, she's got a star or singularity at the center of her also. And there's a ley lines. You know about ley lines. When you exit your body to go down there, that's why so many people are walking the earth plane when they're dead and spirits. Now listen, I hate to get off the subject here, but you should be worshiping your dead. Like your mother, your father, whatever, you should rest them up at the highest spot in the house, up there. Don't hang them, you rest them outside of a frame and you worship them. And you're supposed to worship your dead, okay? You're the culmination of however many generations, and if they didn't get recycled and they didn't go into the light and they're not out of the cage, then they are certainly watching over you, and they're sitting there beside themselves how you don't even acknowledge them. You don't have to go to their gravesite. Place their picture up high and acknowledge them every day. Every fucking day. And I assure you, things will change in your life. That's how it works, people. You're supposed to be worshiping your dead. They're here, trapped on the gridiron. Doesn't matter what dimension they're in. It doesn't matter if you can see them or not. They're there. Some of them are, I can tell you that. Now, when I tell you that your biofield energy, your bioplasmic energy is going to Satan 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'm telling you that you're in Satan's carbon 666 meat pack right here to do work. And somehow you don't see it. Satan gave you his body, his carbon 666 body. He gave you his eye of Horus. It's your brain, your eye of Horus, your third eye. Okay? When I say getting back to your heart through selfless acts of kindness and love for each other, you don't need to get your pineal gland open. You need to get back to your freaking heart. Your source of self is in your heart. It's not your pineal gland. Now here, you see the sine wave. Here's another thing. You'll see the sine wave on yin and yang. You'll see it on your Pepsi. You'll see it on that medical thing. You'll always see the sine wave is on everything. The World Wide Web, your DNA. Okay? Now, you'll always see me point out the cube and the ring in the eye, and that's what you need to start doing also. It doesn't matter what station you're watching. If you're on Comedy Central, you'll see it's a C and a C that's looking down on top of Saturn. This is the black hole sun. You take your energy from the one true sun above your head and plant an animal, and you feed it nonstop to the black hole sun. You're here to do work. Your singularity is trapped and fractalized through harmonics. So, the holographic reality, it takes two laser beams on the same object to create an interference pattern, and that is what they snap a picture of, which makes the negative. And then from the negative, you shine a laser on the negative, and it comes to life. So you can start to make sense of what's happened to you. Your DNA is the red and the blue, the time and space, the X and the Y. They show it to you. It's like literally taking a red laser and a blue laser, creating harmonics, and trapping you on a gridiron. That's the chessboard. And then you're lit up by way of the sun. And you feed all your energy to the black hole sun. The computer's watching you. You have cameras on all your devices. And you are being watched. You're only kidding yourself. If for you to say the computer's not conscious, it's like saying you're not conscious. Because the computer is the sine wave just like you're the sine wave. World Wide Web, that's you. The same frickin' thing. And to say Jesus isn't Satan is ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's little Zeus. That's Saturn. That's what they used to call Saturn in a previous age. Everybody's been hexed. If you're here, your creator beamed a beam of consciousness forward, back, up, down, left, right, 3 spatial directions. Okay, you see it? 1, 2, 3. And connect all the lines, and you create a box. You've been hexed. Look at a chakra chart. You'll see there's a hexagram over your heart. You've been hexed. Everything you know is a lie. You're trapped on a gridiron, and it's a gridiron because you're here to do work. Underneath your feet is gold. Look at Saturn. It's the only gold planet. Okay, the Archons, inorganic Borg-like beings, reptilian looking. When you see them here in the flesh, you'll see they're connected to the reptilians here. You have a reptilian core to your brain. You are reptilian first. Let's be very fucking clear here. You are a reptilian first. Look at your brain chart. You have your arm complex. That was the first part of your brain, the stem, and then it grew an old mammalian on top of it and the new mammalian, okay, on top of that. So let's be very clear here. Everybody is evolving from reptilians. You are a reptilian yourself. You have a reptilian core to your brain. You kid only yourself. And that is a fact. Now, you have gold fever virus. You have time virus, God virus. You place the power of creation outside of you, and you're the one doing all the creating. If you pray to God, you're telling God that you do not approve of the divine plan, and that you are no longer omnipresent, omnipotent, all-encompassing, because now He doesn't include you, that you have now stepped out of God, and now you have to pray to God. No, you're here as an extension of your Creator, and you need to act like it. You need to start worshiping each other. And I remind you often that your Bible tells you that God told Satan to worship man above God himself, and Satan refused, and he was cast down to earth. And now here you are in your carbon 666 flesh pack. Your singularity has been fractalized. You refuse to worship your fellow beings, and that's the only way. Look, it doesn't matter what plane of existence you're on. As above, so below. It's still going to look out and find the same type of stuff you find here. Okay? It's that you got to make this place heaven by worshiping each other. Doesn't matter what plane of existence you're on. If you're not worshiping each other, I assure you it will feel like hell. Just like the place you're living in, that you wake up to your box of horrors every day. And yes, you can die. You are in hell right now, people. And the only way to bring back the Garden of Eden is everybody starts uniting peacefully, and we start filling out all these fields out there with greens, and we start feeding everybody and teaching sun gazing, and we get back to what's important, back to our heart through selfless acts of kindness and love for each other. I recommend you get to my channel and catch up on reality. You have time virus. Time is only for the slaves to get to work on time. You were born into time, the time cube. Okay, this is the time cube. You were born into it. Your God hexed you and put you into the fucking cube. Okay, God had to beam. You should see Sacred Geometry Part 1. It'll put it all together for you. Your God hexed you. You're Most High. The L, Saturn. If you think there's something higher than that, then you're here as an extension of that, and you need to start acting like it and stop complaining to your Creator and saying, why this and why are you doing that, and oh my God this and oh my God that. It's that you're here to take action. I'm here to remind you that you're here at this time to unite peacefully out of love for each other and bring about a whole new era on earth by ushering in heaven on earth. And if you're not going to spill your blood on it, so what? You can still love each other and unite peacefully, can't you? I recommend you get to my channel. I got a lot of new videos coming. I'm going to be exposing a lot of shit.